What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the Digital Ledger. Just wanted to make a video real quick because obviously we have seen all markets get body slammed over the last day or so, and obviously the traditional stock market has been body slammed over the last couple of weeks. You know, I've been reporting on my original channel, Investment Perspectives, for a while that I really do believe at some point there's going to be two important words: government intervention here. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that we've been tracking international regulations, regulatory bodies, and oversight for over a year now, and how the collective orchestration of the countries around the world have been working to develop a digital virtual currency, digital asset framework. Seeing these current conditions that are happening, and they aren't just happening in the United States. These conditions are happening all across the globe. Obviously, right now, the U.S. is feeling some serious hurt in the traditional markets. And with the current health events that are happening, it would appear that we are going to constantly graduate to a more extreme lockdown than what we're already experiencing. And if we look around the globe in places like China and Italy already, where they are completely locked down, one can't help wonder if that is soon to be here. Now, what does that mean? Okay, for a couple of weeks we might have to lock it down at the house and not go anywhere. I get it. It's not the end of the world. And if it's the right thing to do because it's a real situation, then that's what we all need to do, right? And I think we'll get through it. But the point to me is that it's awful timely that that current health event is happening at the demise of the traditional stock market collapsing. Cryptopolis and I have been talking and having this conversation about how the recession is already here, but not felt at the consumer level. And we've been having that conversation since last year. Oddly enough, now that it seems to show itself outside of the repo market and now in the traditional stock market, at the institutional and corporate level, I believe with these huge sell-offs, I believe we're actually starting to see those larger bodies price in what they know is the recession that is already here. So when I think about the impact of these things together, a current health event, which is very real, when I think about the collapse of these traditional markets and the possibility of being correct about the fact that they are now pricing in the recession, a correction, if you will, right? If we are to move to the more severe measures that we are seeing in other countries like China and Italy, and if that is something that needs to happen, obviously we're all going to do what we need to do to be a part of it and get through it. But if that should happen here domestically, if we're already experiencing a lot of trouble in the markets, what do you think we're going to experience after 2 weeks or 30 days of a complete shutdown? Should we move to that level of extremism to control this current health event, as they've had to do in China and Italy already? I'm not saying they will, I'm just saying if things continue to trend as we have seen in other places, we should expect that this could be a plausible path that would happen. I personally believe that if liquidity is a problem in a global crisis, and certainly showing its head here domestically at home, if they do take the measures that China and Italy have taken, it is going to create an even more stress and undesirable situation financially for everyone involved, from consumer to corporate institutional level. The problem is liquidity. The problem is a global problem. So for me, a part of the fact that this is even plausible and already happening to the degree we've discussed in other places just tells me that it's very possible that we could have to go through those same things that other countries are currently going through right now. And if so, it makes even more pressure, more problems for the financial markets and liquidity. And because of that, maybe, just maybe, we see a window of opportunity for what was designed to be the most liquid, fastest settling asset on Earth, a global reserve asset, XRP. Maybe, just maybe, we hear those two words that I talked about, government intervention. Maybe, just maybe, we see the US FSOC, Financial Stability Oversight Committee, come out and deem the XRP ledger, the ILP, and the XRP token systemically important to the new financial system for liquidity. Well, why would that be? Because if it's 15 cents, how much liquidity is in 100 billion coins? Well, the reality to me is you'd have to factor in the notion that all of the largest banks in the world could participate, and FX desk could participate in providing liquidity, not to mention once they put their utility through the payments, or put their utility payment flows through the actual ledger and the use of XRP settlement, you're going to create a scenario that's never existed before, because we're talking about not just payment, but payment and settlement that will happen within 3 to 4 seconds. The liquidity that can come from that is because of the velocity of money that's never existed before. That's right, the speed of a transaction, how quickly it can go from my hand to your hand to the next hand to the next hand, and the ability to spend that money digitally. Overall, the velocity of money also deals with the weight of the nostro vostro accounts. It's at that point that you would have the flywheel theory, perpetual motion of settlement, and the speeding up of the settlement, which is the velocity of money, making it more accessible to other hands and other hands and other hands, which means the less you have to hold in your hand. I chose to shoot this video here on the Atlantic Ocean because, in light of a dark time and a dark market as far as prices are going, I couldn't feel any better than the view here is at this beach about my investment. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not investment advice, but I can tell you right now, I have never felt so strongly about what I hold, because I feel I actually understand what it is that I hold. I hope each and every one of you hang strong and hodl. But more than importantly, whether you hodl or not, follow your path. Hit the like and subscribe. This is the new channel, The Digital Ledger. I will be posting content on here regularly. Please hit that like and subscribe. Follow us here. We're going to do a lot of really cool stuff on this channel, and it will also be a great way for us to never miss a beat should we run into a situation where we are suspended by YouTube like we were on the other channel for some ridiculous reason that we never did violate the policy, and you don't get a human to talk to, and there's no way to really, the appeals don't get answered. It's very frustrating, but you know what? It's where everyone here is. It's where we can touch the most people, so it's still a very relevant platform, and we're always going to be here, and the best way I think to handle it is to create a backup channel like the Digital Ledger. So please hit the like and subscribe. We can always stay in contact, and do me a favor, if you like this video, you like this content, please retweet it and share it on the platform that you use the most. I'll catch you on the next one.